Hello, this is Dana with Designs by Dana, and I'm going to start this video today working on my summer brims, summer hat brims, and I have quite a few made now since the last video I did where I sent you to somebody else's channel to view their hat. And so I got a lot of requests if I would do a tutorial. So today I have order for a hat like this. Now I have to share with you, this was a mistake. This is called my mistake hat. It has wire in it, and this has 12 gauge wire in it. And let me put it on and show you how it was a mistake. That's how it's a mistake. Alright, this is regular, probably like 3-ply yarn, and then this is the cotton, 100% cotton by Sugar Cream in the black. And so I was like, this is not going to work. So with my hairstyle I had today, I wore it to church like this. And I bent it up in here so it would stay on my head. And I wore it down. And then I took this part up here and I just tucked it in, gave it its own little excellence. And it pretty much stayed on my head today without a hat pin. So I decided to call this one my 25 different ways to wear the hat. So you can do a lot with it. Like I said, I put a 12 gauge, and I'll show you that. But you can do so much with it. I played with it the other night before I wore it to church this morning. But I could probably do it like that if I wanted to. And tuck this back here if I wanted. It's just going to be mine. So I have an order for a blue and a white one. So I had to bring this one down because I don't write patterns. I can, but I don't. Kind of wing it. So I have to look at this one because the lady said I want it just like that, only in blue and white. So I'm going to get all of my things together and come back and then go from there. And we'll start walking through the hat if you'd be interested in it. But I'll also be giving you tips on just how to make the regular brims in this video. So thank you for taking time to stop by my channel, and let's get ready to get busy. Now what I'll be using for this hat is I went and purchased, this is 12 gauge. Hopefully you can see it. Bought this at Michael's, $3.99. This is just yarn that I just have left over, and it's a thinner yarn, not quite 4-ply. And then I went and bought, because I couldn't find blue in my cotton, so I bought Caron's Simply Soft because I love how it feels and I like the shine that it gives. And I thought this would just really work really good, and I can get quite a bit out of it. So this is what I'm going to be using for a hat like this. So we'll be back. I'll be back in a few minutes. When I get to measuring my brim and everything, I'm going to be using some tape, or just some hospital tape I had. I like to use my little tweezer pliers to, when I go around and twist my 12 gauge wire to tighten it really good, and I put the tape over it. And this is just a measuring piece of measuring tape so that I can measure. So those are all the tools that I think you're going to need other than your hook. And the hook size today I think I'm going to use is probably an H or I. Alrighty. I will be pulling from the outer part of this skein yarn because when I tried to pull the first one out, there was a tug in there. I don't like to get halfway through my project and have to cut my work, even though I know how to do a manufactured knot, or they call it a factory knot. And I'll probably be showing you that in this video when I change colors with the white. Alright, so how am I starting with? I'm going to start with the magic circle, as they call it. Alright, so this video is for those people who already know how to crochet. And I'm just familiarizing you with things. I'm not teaching how to crochet. However, I do need to probably do a video for first timers, but that will not be today. Now on this one, I'm going to leave a long enough tail. This is about 10-inch tail, 7, 10, 12-inch tail, because I want to use this as my marker, because I'm going to be making a continuous circle. And when you make a continuous circle, there's no beginning and there's no end. So this marker will be my beginning and my end. Alright? So I'm going to start with my circle, and I'm going to work half doubles with this hat, because this yarn is a little bit thinner than the 100% cotton that I use on the black hat, so that I can have the weight, same weight. I'm going to do a half double crochet instead of singles. Alright, so I'm going to chain 2, because 2 represents the height of a half double. And in this circle, with the tail hanging out in front of me, I'm going to put 12 half doubles inside of this ring. Alright, so that's 12. And I always go back and count, not counting the first chain 2. That's 11. I'm going to do one more, 12. Alright, now blue is not a good number to a good color to teach with, but because I don't know when I'll be making this hat again, I'm just doing the tutorial. Here's that tail. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to put it kind of tight, and when I pull it tight, I'm going to take that tail and pull it to the front of my work, because now that's going to start being my marker, and that means that this is the beginning of the next row. So I'm not joining together. I'm just going to go in the very first stitch with a half double, and maybe I should position my camera a little differently. Maybe this will help a little bit. So I pull that marker in front. I'm calling that my marker. So there are 12 half doubles. I'm going to go on the first one with a half double. I'm not normally, to close off the row at this point, you would slip stitch, but I'm not doing that because this is going to be a continuous circle. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 half doubles in each half double all the way around. That's going to make me have 24. Now if you choose to use cotton, because this is a summer hat, you can do singles if you like, because that yarn is a little thicker than this Simply Soft. I'm just doing half double so that I can get the thickness and the weight, so that my hat will be weighted down like this one. Alright, so I'm going to put 2, this is called an increase row, and you can do this with any circle that you're making to increase. You can start with 12, 10, 5, and then double the next row, and then I'll show you what we'll be doing on the next row. But I'm going to do 2 all the way around, and then I'll come back when I'm at the end. Alright, I'm all the way around. Now I have 24, and I know I'm all the way around. Here's my tail. So if I would count from here, there should be 24. And one thing I did not do was I did not go into the back loop. Now, you can choose not to go in the back loop. Now, if you want to have this ridge, see that? That's by leaving out your front loop, meaning you're going into the back loop stitch, and that creates that. And if you just want that smooth, then you would just do your regular half double. Now what I'm going to do so I can show you the difference in this hat, first I'm going to count, and that is pretty important. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. So I'm at 27, and I should be at, so that means I did some doubles and triples in here or something. Or either I didn't do 12 to start out. So you want to stay on track with your numbers. Okay? So your first row would be 12, your next row would be 24. 12, 14, 16, 8, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27. So you know what? That tells me that my first row didn't have 12. And I should have counted. So I'm going to take this loose and then come back. Okay, I took it loose. And I did that for a purpose because you may do the same thing. I counted this as 14. So I don't know how I did that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This one has 13. That one extra will give you 2 extra on the next row. So that's why it's important to count. So I'm going to take out the 1. And again, I'm going to bring my tail forward so it can act as my marker for the beginning of the next row. I'm going to go with a half double into the top of that stitch. Tighten everything up. Now if you use Simply Soft, there is one thing that I find that I don't like about Simply Soft. And what that is it splits. It's very easy to split, so you might want to have a little larger head. You know, if this one kept splitting on me, I would probably go to a larger head. Now since I backed it out, I'm going to go ahead and go into the back loop of this row, only because the person I'm making it for said they wanted it just like the one I had on at church today. So only in a different color. So I'm going to do increase all the way around, and I'm going to meet you at the end. So we're going to put 2 half doubles in the back loop. Let's see if you can see this. I don't have the best camera. It's because it's my phone. So I'm doing half doubles into the back loop. And the back loop, ooh, dark. This is not good to teach on. So I'm not going to even press you. Like I said, this is not to teach you how to crochet. This is just to help you with the pattern in making your hats and showing you how to do your brims. So I'm going in the back loop all the way around. And I don't want to do too much cutting and splicing either. Alright, so I'm going to keep on going and then I'll be back. I'm back around. 24. So I counted from here all the way back. It's 24. This is my marker. So what I do with the marker, since this is the last stitch, I put the marker in the front of that stitch. I just pull it right through that front loop, because I'll be using the back loop when I come back around. So I just take that tail and pull it through there. and lay it in front. And then that just helps me keep where my beginning and where my end is at. So for my next row, which I'm counting as, this is round 1, the 12 that were inside of the magic circle. This is 24, so this is the second round. And they're rounds and not rows, because rows are back and forth, rounds are in a circle. So in round 3, I'm going to start off with a half double, and then in the next stitch I'm going to do an increase, which is 2 half doubles in the same stitch. Then I'm going to do a half double in the next one, and then the next one I'm going to do an increase, which is 2 half doubles. And like I said, you could be doing singles if you like. And I'm going to do that continuously all the way around until I get back to this one. And when I finish off with that end of the row, I'm going to count, and I should have 36. So by every row, you're going to increase 36 until you get to, I think it's somewhere around 72 stitches. It depends on how big the person's head is that you're working on. But because this one is going to fit many, many, many sizes, and we can do a lot with it, I went out 11 rows. So all of these all of these back loops are out to 11 rows. But my increase, it stopped at 6. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Now this is round 3. You can count it by 1, 2, 3. So I've just completed round 3, and there are 36 stitches in this round. And I think I heard myself say something about 36 rounds is going to take to go out to increase. You're going to increase until you get to 72. To 72 or 84. Depends on how big. And I normally just measure by my hand, 7 inches. And normally 7 inches on a flat circle. That's a nice crown head up here. And then I stop the increasing so that the hat can start forming and shaping its way down. Now, if I was making for a smaller child, then I'd only go out about 48, 50, 48, 58, 60, maybe do 60 stitches in a round and start the increase. So it just depends on the circumference of the head. And if I have a chart that I came across, I'll put it in this video in the description box. All right, so now this is, like I said, the end of round 3. Now with this particular hat on round 4, I'm not going to increase. I'm just going to do 1 half double, or if you're doing singles, you're going to do 1 single all the way around. And when we get done with that, we're going to come back and we're going to do an increase row. I know some of you guys laugh at me, but I have to make these videos when it's convenient for me. So I make them all over my house, on my front porch, in my car, just so I can be a blessing to those of you who are having issues with learning how to do stuff. So if I try to set up a scene and do it, I have to do so many retakes, it's ridiculous. So I found that if I just do me, the videos come out. They're more homey, you're more relaxed, you can laugh with me. So here we are. I've just completed round 4. Sometimes you'll hear me say row 4, but it's really round 4. And so I'm back at my marker. See the marker? So that means that's the beginning of the next row. So if I were to count all of these back around, they're going to be the same number as the row before, because this row I did not increase. That makes sense? So that's 36 stitches twice. All right, now the 5th round I'm going to do an increase, And the last increase I left off at was half double, increase, half double increase. Is that what it was? Let me see. Doubles, one other one. Okay. No, the last increase was every other one. Now this one is going to be every other two. And then the next round is going to be, the next increase I do will be every other 3 and every other 4 until I get to the 72 stitches. All right. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing what's called just a, this is not going to be an aggressive increase. If I wanted to be an aggressive increase, I would increase every single row. Every single row I would increase, and then that would make the hat wavy. So you'll learn these things as you go along, but I'm just trying to make a, like, this can be also like a ball cap. The crown of a ball cap, the crown of a beanie. You can just go so many different ways with this 12 stitch in the round, continuous. And what I love about this is there will be no seam. Right now you see this that appears to be a seam, but when I pull that out, you won't even see it. There's no seam. You just have a continuous, and it makes your work look so much more professional. All right, so now the next row we're going to do an increase, and I'm going to do, I like to start out each one of my rows with an increase. So this is going to be round 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, round 5. So I'm going to do an increase. And let me turn the camera a little bit so you can see. All right, and I'm still going in the back loop. Okay. Increase is putting 2 stitches in one, and then the next 2 will be just regular half doubles. The next 2 stitches will be regular half doubles. Then I will do an increase. And then we're going to do that all of the way around till I get back to my marker. So I did an increase, and then I did 2 regular half doubles. Now I want to go back and take my marker and move it up so when I come back around. So I know that I started with an increase on that first one, so I'm going to put this marker in that first increase. So I stick my crochet hook into the front loop of that stitch, and I just pull my marker through so that when I come back around, I'm still going in the back loop. All right. Now if you're doing just plain no loops, you can just stick it through the back, pull it over the top, whatever. Because when you're done, you basically just take this and just pull it out, and then you run it through the inside of the hat, and then tie it off on the inside of the hat, and you have a really clean look. So this increase row, this is round 5, is going to be increase, increase, half double, or increase, single, single, depending if you're doing a single stitch or a half double. And remember again, I'm doing a half double because I'm using a thinner thread or thinner yarn, and I want to have weight. So instead of doing a single, I did a half double. All right, so that's the beginning, and you notice how nice and flat it is. Remember I told you if you wanted to make it more wavier, you would just increase every row instead of, right now I'm starting to go a no increase row and then an increase row, then a no increase row. Now at some point when I get out here to row 9 and 8 and 9, I'm not going to increase at all. And it's a way that starts framing the crown of the hat. And you'll be able to play with this based on your tension. And that's a whole nother ballpark. Your tension, your gauge. All right. So here we go. I'm going to continue with this all the way around, and then I'll come back at round 6. And now round 6 will just be us doing one single all the way around or one half double all the way around. All right. Just completed round 5, and I have 48 stitches. So because that was an increase row, round 6, I'm going to do all half doubles all the way around. So here's my marker, back at my marker, and I actually finished off in the marker. That gives me the end of the row and then the beginning of the row. So now, and I'm still working back loops, and I'm just gonna, and I'm telling you, this Simply Soft, very easily to split. You know, I really wish I had started with a eye hook or so. I probably wouldn't be fighting with this as much as I'm fighting with it. But what can I say? After I do a few stitches, I always go back and take my marker and go back up. So I go up into that stitch right there. Should have counted. 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 2, 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I put my marker. I'm going to come back around. That'll be the end of the row. And then I'm going to start an increase row on round 7. And we're going to increase again. And just remember, every row is being increased by 12. So if I've done 48 on the last row, this row is going to be 48 because it's no increase. Then in row 6, we're going to increase by 12. That makes it 60. And then I said increase. Then the next 2 rows we'll be doing, I'm not going to get too far ahead of you, okay? So like I said, 1, 2, 3. And then how I count my rows, I count my back loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. So I'm ending 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm getting ready. I'm just going into 6. All right. I'm just ended round 6. That was no increase row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and see how it's kind of shaped here a little bit. Now I'm going to do an increase row for row 7. And this increase will be, I'm going to start with an increase. And what you're doing is just adding one more stitch that's not being increased in between every time you do a row of increase, if that makes sense. So one row you're doing no increases, then the next row you're doing one more stitch in between your increases from the row before. So the row before, my increase was 2 stitches in between. Now this time my increases are going to be 3 stitches in between before I do an increase. Alright, so I do an increase, and then I'm going to do sometimes when you see me back these out, it's because it's splitting. I'm going to do 3 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and then in the 4th stitch I'm going to do an increase, and then I'm going to do 3 half doubles, or if you're doing singles you can do 3 singles if you're using cotton. So 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to do an increase. Okay, I'm going to do this all the way around, and then the next 2 rows, which will be 8 and 9, there will be no increasing. So I'll jump back in and just say 8, 9, no increase, but you can go ahead if you like, and then we'll come to the 10th round where we'll do our last increase for the crown of the hat, and then from rows 11 down to possible 22, depending on the length that you want. Sometimes I stop at 18 if I'm just making if I want my brim to start here. Will be no increasing, because once you stop increasing after that round, after round 10, after round 10 you stop increasing, then your hat starts taking this shape to form and go down. Okay, but on this one, I'm going to show you on another hat that's already done to keep going and just make your brim. But I'm actually on this video working on this hat. And what I may do is so that you get two hats in one. I'm going to come back because I have another order for a brown and a white hat. So I'll start the brown hat and get you to row 10. I'll come in on row 10 or 11 and to change colors, to show you how to change colors to the white. Okay, so that's what I do. I'll giving you two hats for the price of one, even though there's no price included. All right, so right now I'm going to finish out this round, which is round 7, and I'm increasing. And then round 8 and 9 is going to be no increase. But like I said, I'll pop back in. Hey, I'm back. Just saw my daughter walking by, heading back upstairs. So I just finished row 9. So I did 8 and 9, which were no increases. And now I'm going to do the last increase on row 10. And so I'm going to start with a double, meaning an increase. Two half doubles and one stitch. And then I'm going to have 4 stitches in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th one, I'll do another increase. And so I'm going to continue this and go all the way around until I'm finished. And then when I get to row 11, I stop increasing. And then I'm just going to do row 11 down. And I may go to, for this hat, because I'm duplicating this hat, when I got to 11, I started doing a chain diamond stitch in there. So I'll come back at row 11 on this one. After row 11, I'll do the diamond stitch and show you how to do the diamond stitch. And on the brown one I'm going to do, I'll show you on row probably 18 or 22, depending on how far down I need to come, how to start the increase of the brim. Okay, but our main thing was getting this hat completed, but in the same turn I want to show you how you can make other hats, and I'll have some pictures of the other hats when I come back. So right now I'm going to be doing 4 half doubles in between each increase all the way around. So I just did an increase, so I'm going to do half double 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to do an increase. So at the end of this row, row 10, you're going to have 60, 70, 72, just like I said, 72. You have 72 stitches in it, and the 72 stitches, we'll just keep doing them around and around and around till we get down. Sometimes I even put it on my head just to see, especially if I'm working with different yarns and fabrics. Alright, so I'll be back with both. I'm going to go ahead and start my brown hat and get that one finished so that I can come back to you with both hats so you can see. So you're getting double portions. Alright, I just finished round 11. Well, not finished. I have two stitches before I get to my marker. And because I know that I'm getting ready to start the diamond shapes, I'm going to slip stitch into the whole stitch of the last 2. And that's just to complete that round. That's how I complete a round. I don't do singles or half doubles. I just slip stitch, and that makes the perfect round. And then with this one I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to skip 2, and then the third one I'm going to do a single crochet. I'm starting my diamond shape, and just to make sure, I'm going to come over here and count my diamonds. Make sure I did 3, or did I do 5? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, because these are a little smaller. Those are 3 and these are 5. The whites are 5, the blacks are 3. 3 chain. So I'm going to chain 3. Alright, I'm coming to the end. I've done the end. And now there's like one, not even one stitch in between. I'm going to chain 3. And I'm going to go into the chain 3 space. I'm going to make this easy for you. Now if you're a seasoned crocheter, you can go into the second stitch. That gives it more precise detail of the diamond shape. But if you don't want to do that, you can just go right into the space with a single. And for this purposes, I'm going to do that. Chain 3 and go into the next space with a single. On this hat, I'm sure I probably went into the actual stitch so that when the hat is pulled, all the diamonds are really precise. If when you go into the space, the stitch can move back and forth because it's just around the bar of the chain 5. And so I wanted to show you that technique, and since I'm selling this hat, I'm going to go back and actually put it into the middle stitch, and the middle stitch is the second one, because these are 3 chains. So I'm going to chain 3 and go into the next one, and right in that middle chain I'm going to do a single, which is the second one. 1, 2, 3, and go into there's 3 chains here. I'm going into the second chain, which is the middle chain of the 3. And that's how you create your diamond shape. And whenever you're making a diamond shape, always use an odd number so that you will have a middle chain by itself. And that will give you your diamond shape. So we're going to look at this one. And when I pull it, you can see the diamond. You can see, this is black, but you can see the diamond shapes. And on the bigger one, you can see the diamond shapes. But they're all odd. They're always odds. 3, 5, 7, 9. Always use odd numbers, so there's one by itself in the middle. Alright, so I'm going to continue that all the way around. Just keep doing that because it's going to be a continuous circle until I get, since I'm duplicating again, till I have, looks like 4 rounds. 1, 2, 3, till I have 4 rounds. So when my blue one looks like this, I have 4 rounds, then I'll come back, and at that point we'll be doing back to our half doubles or our singles. Alright, I'm back. I had to wipe my eyes. I was watching Undercover Boss. Every time I watch it, I cry. Alright, so I have about 4 diamond shaped rows completed. I'm back at my running tail, my marker. I've been using that, so I know where I'm at. And now what I'm going to do is I need to get back to 72 stitches. So in order to get back to 72 stitches, what I did on here was, let me look back. I just put 1 single in the one that I'm ending on in the space. And then I did, and actually I'm doing half doubles, so I'm not doing singles. I did a half double into that space right where I finished at. Then in the single crochet, I do a half double. Then in the chain 3 space, I do 2 half doubles, and then I do a half double in the single. And so when I come all the way back around to this spot, I should have 72 stitches if I've done that correctly. Alright, and then how you would figure it out is you would count your spaces, and however many spaces you have times 2, and then you have count your singles and add that to it, and if that makes 72. And the reason why you want to get back to 72 is to keep the consistency of the hat. So whatever stitches you had before you started the chain, which should be 72, when you get done with this row right here, adding these stitches in, you should have 72. And so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Better show you than tell you. So I have one space. Let me take this out so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm back to the beginning right where I started. So I'm going to count my spaces. Chain 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 times 2 is 48. So that means I should have how many singles? So I'm going to count the singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 plus this last one I did here makes it 25. So that's 25 plus 48. So why am I doing that? I had 25 singles, and I'm going to add that to 48. So that's 48, 58, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. And one more makes 73. So I wanted to be back at my 72, so I actually wouldn't count this one that I ended with. Alright? So in order to make sure that I have 72 stitches when I come back around, I'm going to put my first stitch not in the space, but actually in the single crochet. And then in every single stitch, in every chain 3, I'm going to be putting 2 singles or 2 half doubles. And then in the next stitch, which would be a single, I'm going to put that. Hi, I'm back, and I'm on a bus on my way to Canada or Windsor to the casino. My hubby and he's up there. And I always like to get the back seat of the bus. But remember I told you when I do my videos, I do them everywhere I'm at because I crochet all the time. But I wanted to make sure that we got this hat completed and with information on 2 hats for you this time. But the last part of this video cut off right while I was talking, and I was just telling you about making sure you ended up with 72 stitches after you came out of that chain. So now when you come back around, you don't have to slip stitch to close off that row. Just continue to either, if you're using singles, do singles. If you're using half doubles, as I am on this hat, do your half doubles. And what I did was about 4 rows of half doubles before I start on the next diamond shapes. And the next diamond shapes for this hat are going to be a little larger. So I'm going to bring the hat back in. And so right here, we're right at this part right here. Oh, no, we're not. We're up here. Kind of awkward because I'm on the bus, but I'm trying to get this video done. So, see there? We're right in here. We're doing these 4 rows of singles or half doubles. No increases at all. The increase will come when we go to the diamond shape. And so instead of doing chain 3, we're going to be doing chain 5. And that will give you the increase on making the hat a little wider. And when I get to that part, I'm going to be changing colors. So when I change colors, I'll try to come back to you. Hopefully I'll still be on the bus before I get into the casino. I really don't want to be doing any video in the casino. It's fairly loud. Alright, but we're going to get this hat taken care of today, I think. Very simple hat. And I didn't bring the brown hat I was working on. But I did finish it. So I'll have to show that one to you when I get done with this one. But I just basically, as far as the brim part is concerned, I just basically wanted to make sure you got the concept, and then you yourself can just go anywhere you want to go with a hat. You can now become a designer. Because we all have vision. Like I told you, this hat actually was a mistake. And out of the mistake, I ended up putting it on my head, figuring out some other things, and ended up wearing it to church and got a sell off of it. So again, as always, I love to thank you guys for continue to hang in here with me and do the unorthodox way of making a tutorial for people. But I like to make it interesting and fun and to show you how you can do it in your everyday life. Crochet and bring happiness not only to yourself, but even sometimes to the people who are watching you crochet and asking questions. So I'll be back when I finish the 4 rows of the singles that you may be doing, but I'm doing half doubles. And then we're going to be ready to change colors. If you wish, you don't have to change colors. I'll be changing colors and adding, doing the larger side of diamonds. So I'll be right back with you. Hey, I wonder if I come back to you. I'm just coming out of the tunnel. We're getting ready to go into customs. I'm over in Canada now, but I'm at the end of the 4th row. Can't see it, but I'm at the end of the 4th row. And what I want you to do is 2 stitches before the end of that round, I want you to slip stitch. And then when you slip stitch in those 2, I want you to chain 5, skip 3 stitches, and go into the 4th one with a single. And I want you to do that all the way around and just continue to go around and around until you have about 4 to 5 rows of diamond shapes. So what I want you to do is slip stitch in the last 2 as you make that last round of the 4 rounds of half doubles or singles, whichever one you're doing. And then I want you to chain up 5. That's going to act as your first half part of your diamond. And skip 3 stitches. Go into the 4th one with a single. So it's going to be chain 5, skip 3 singles, single into the next stitch. And you do that all the way around. And when you come back around, depending on where your stitches are, you're going to just go right into the space of that very first one you did with the single, chain 5, and go into the next space, and so on. But I'll try to come back to you once I finish this first round. Okay?
There is a multiplier today, so if you want to swipe the promotion kiosk to get in for the multiplier, please do so. And again, your bus number going home will be 326. And you will be leaving here at 4:30. Have a great day.
Okay.
Does everyone have total rewards cards? Anyone needs applications? Okay, Lauren is going to start at the back and move the way forward.
Okay, so I'm back. What I should have probably said was chain 5 and then single into the 4th stitch. That might have been easier than saying skip 3. Hi, how are you? Thanks, Jim. Alright. So, I'm almost all the way around. I'm having issues here. 1, 2, 3. So when I get back around, I only have 3 stitches here. 1, 2, 3. So what I'm going to do is jump right over to the space and connect it to the middle one, which would be number 3, and do a single. But you could also go into the space itself and do a single if you like. Remember earlier I showed you both. I'd like 4.
There you are.
Thank you. All right. Yay. So you see I'm getting ready to go gamble, so I'm not going to come back to you till I'm all done. So what I want you to do is just continue to do chain 5 and go into the space, or go into the 3rd chain with a single all the way around until you have about 4 to 5 rows. And once you have 4 to 5 rows, we're going to do the same thing we did from the other row. And this time I'm not going to do the same thing, but for some reason in this hat pattern I did double crochets. I don't know why. Like I said, I never wrote a pattern for it, but I'm trying to duplicate that hat so that the lady will have the same type of hat. But at this point you could just really go anywhere with the design. Sorry, I'm eating candy. I'm just having all kind of issues at this part. I probably really shouldn't even video all this, but I wanted to make sure I got this hat done. So I'm going to go ahead and go in the casino and finish working on the hat. And once I get that done, I'll come back and show you what I did. But I think you're going to have great success on doing your hat, especially for you seasoned crocheters. And those of you who are just following along with me, you're going to have great success too. So see you when I come back. Hopefully a great big winner. I had to jump in here to let you guys know we're winning. Look at there. We're at 223 games right now. And you just added 8 more. But let's get back to the crocheting. Okay, I had to jump back in here to let you know that when you started that second set of chain 5, I forgot to tell you to change colors for those of you who wanted to change colors, and I realized it once I got back into the casino. So here I had to take it out and go back and change colors. So you're changing colors the same way I showed you on the brown one. And I'm going to do my 4 or 5 rows, and then I'll be back to pick up my singles or my half doubles that you're doing. Okay, I'm back, and let's see, can I show you where I'm at? This is how many I have, and I'm going to change colors again and go back to black. And when I go back to black, I'm going to do the same thing I did before I changed. I'm going to put, make sure I have my 72 stitches in there. So I'm going to put, instead of 2, I'm going to put 3 stitches in between here. So I'm going to put 3 stitches in here, and then 1 in the single, and then I'm going to put 3 either singles or 3 halves. I'm doing half double, and then in the single I'll do 1 all the way around. And then I'm going to increase this row by jumping to doubles, but I'll come back and show you that one also. This is what it looks like when I change the color. And then I'm putting 3. Ooh, my husband's getting excited over here. 3, and then I do 1 in here, and then I do 3 in the space. Then I'll do 1 in the single, and then I'll do 3 in the space. Because I'm working on chain 5s this time, so I need to kind of fill that hole in. So I'm going to do that all the way around. And then once I get all the way around the hat. Now this hat is a little more flimsier because I'm not using, I see it, baby. I'm not using the same weight. So I went up a hook size, 2 hook sizes. starting here so that my hat will flare out a little bit. Okay, it won't be too tight. Alright, and you learn all that when you're crocheting and the different weights and stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to do this, and then when I get back on the bus, I'll come back and show you a little more, because this is like probably really getting ridiculous. You guys can't believe I'm sitting in the casino crocheting, but I do. Absolutely love it. Right now we're in 100 and something free spins. We had 260 something free spins, so that's when I pull out my crocheting. So I'll see you back on the bus. Okay, I'm back on the bus. And I went around with the new color, blue. And when I came all the way around, I just slip stitched it. And then I chained up 3, because I'm now going to be working double crochets on this row. Ask me why, I don't know. I'm just following the pattern I did on the other hat that I told you was a mistake. But so what I'm going to be doing is doing an increase every 7th stitch. So I again chained up 3, and then I put a double crochet in that same stitch, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in the 7th one I increased, and you increase by putting another double in that. And I'll do that all the way around. When I get to the other side, I'll come back. Okay, here I am. I came all the way around. I have 1 stitch left, so I'm going to do a double in there, and then I'm going to slip stitch it to the top of the chain 3. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do a half double all the way around. And then I'm going to start my chain stitches again. Alright, and so now I'm at the second part of my chains. So once I do the singles all the way around, then if you see, there's black. So I'm going to start the chains off, the chain 5s, skipping 2. Am I skipping 2 or skipping 3? I'm skipping 3. So I'm chaining 5 and going into the 4th stitch. Oops, sorry. I'm on the bus still. My lighting is bad. Okay, so, and then you get that black and white, so that's how you got the design on that bottom one. I did a black, and then 2 whites, and then a black, and then finished off the hat. Alright, so right now, like I said, I'm at the double crochet. I'm gonna slip stitch it to the top of the chain 3, chain up 2, because I'm doing half doubles. You can chain up 1 if you're only doing singles, and go all the way around, no increase. And then you can go right into your chain 5 and single into the 4th stitch. Chain 5, single into the 4th stitch. Do that all the way around, and then change colors. I'm all the way around, and now I'm going to chain 5 and single in the 4th stitch. Chain 5 and single in the 4th stitch all the way around, and then I'll end it and I'll change colors. Alright. Okay, I'm at the end, and when I go into the 4th one, I only have 2 stitches left. And so because I'm changing colors, I don't want to jump over to here. With my blue. I want to be ready when I get over here to start right off with my white. So what I did was, on this next to the last one, I chained 5, and I went into the 2nd stitch with a single, and then that left me with 2 more stitches. I chained 5, and then I just wrapped, slip stitched around the bottom of the very first chain I did. So that would give me, when I come back around, a perfect diamond. This will be a 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 diamond and it'll make the transition smooth. So in order for me to add in the white, I have to slip stitch up into the third one before I change colors, or that color will bleed. So I'm just going to slip stitch in the first chain and the second chain. And the third chain. We'll slip stitch up to the third chain. Okay, and then I'm going to change colors. Alright, so when I get up here, I'm going to change colors so that when I come all the way back around, the white will blend smoothly. You won't see that color change. So let me show you again what I did. That chain 5, I went down around the bottom of the very first chain I did with a slip stitch. And then I slip stitch up that chain to the top, which is the third one. And this is called a hidden stitch also, slip stitch when you're using this application. And then I'm just going to take my white, filter it through, tie it off, and keep going around. Now with this one, I'm not going to cut my blue because I'm going to come back in 2 rows and I don't want to have to filter it in. So I'm going to add my white by folding it in half and just pulling it through the loop. And then I'm going to tighten it and tie the 2 short ends together. Well, it's not short because I'm not cutting it, but tie this one to this one over top my running yarn so I can hide the knot. There we go. Now I'm going to just let that blue dangle until I come back. And I always like to get rid of my tail in my chain 5. So just 1, just flip it back and forth. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And whatever's left. This time I'm going to be slip stitching in the space. I'm going to be singling in the space. When I single in the space, I grab that little tail and kind of lay it down, filter it in. If there's anything left, like that little piece, I pull it and I go in the next chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how I filter in that tail. Now this right here, I'll get coming back on the other side. I don't know, I might have to cut it because if I can see it through the hat, I might have to cut it. We'll see. So now I'm just going to be chaining 5 and singling in the next space all the way around. And I'm going to do that 2 times. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, single in the next space. And when you come back around, you should be able to do the same thing. You get to the end, you'll do 1 in here, and then you'll single right over, jump right past that, and single right into here, to the space. That'll help keep it even. This is your beginning, this is your end. So when you do your chain 5 here, just jump over to here, single, and go around again. So we'll do it 2 times. Then when we come back, we're going to have to do exactly what we did here to change colors. Now remember, you don't have to change colors if you don't want to. Alright, so it's starting to look good. It's coming together. I'll be back. Alright, I'm at the end. Chain 5. Go right over to the space. And I'm going to pull up that blue with it. And just slip stitch it right. I the next row. Chain 5 and keep on going. Come back around. When we come back around, we'll close it off. And we'll start our singles or our half doubles again. Okay, here I am. Chain 5. Going to the next space. I'm at the end. And so I'll have to do it one more time. Chain 5. And right here where my blue is, I'm going to pull up like I'm going to do a single. I'm going to drop the white, pick up the blue, and pull it through to change my color. See how I did that? See that? And then I'll tie it. I'll cut the white, and then I'll tie it to the blue and keep going with the blue. Because blue is going to be the rest of my color on this hat. Alright? So I'm going to stop the camera, cut, make a knot, and then I'll probably weave it through here and continue with the blue. Alright, so we're getting close, we're almost done. Sorry about the lighting. Okay, I want you to see what I was doing. I told you I cut the white and I tied it tight. Chained up 5. But I want to get rid of this tail so I don't have to go back and do it later. So that's why you see this hook in my mouth, because I go back and I filter it in between here so I can crochet over the top of it. So I just take a smaller teeny weeny hook and go into each little chain stitch and pull that white through. And sometimes I slip stitch it a little bit too to lock it in. So I'm just filtering it in and out through the diamonds, across the diamonds. Because if I lay it across the diamonds, it'll pop out. So it's better just to weave it in and out. You could take a needle and do this too. I just like to use my hook. And then sometimes I slip stitch it too across some of the stitches to lock it in. So that way you can wash your stuff. You don't have to worry about losing your work coming undone. So I basically almost finished my whole hat today on my trip. So I'm just weaving it in and out. And when I feel like I got enough in there, at least 3 to 4 inches, then I'll cut it. Don't have to worry about it going out. Sometime after I get so far, I turn around and come back the other way too. The other direction. But I wanted to make sure I showed you that. Alright. I got one more I'm going to do. Back up, chain my 5, and I'll go over to the next space and do a single, and then chain 5 and go over and do a single into the next space. And see that hanging there? I'll just cut it. Alright, so I'll do it around and then I'll be back. Hello, this is a new day. I am now sitting in a hospital waiting room, waiting on my husband to finish with his ultrasound on his stomach or something. So like I said, I'm the traveling crochet lady who crochets everywhere I go. So I'm still working on the hat. I wanted to show you what I had just done. I didn't get too far gone to try to explain it to you. So again, I don't have a tripod today, so I'm going to have to hold it and talk. Alright, so I just finished that one row of when I changed the colors. And in each one of these, I put in 5 half doubles. You can put in 5 singles if you like. And then I slip stitched it closed. I'm not going to make a continuous circle on this. The next row I am going to increase every 10. And then the next row I won't increase. So when I come back, we'll be getting ready to put the wire in for the hat, and it'll be done. Beautiful colors, isn't it? Blue. So I have it ready to take to her and give to her Sunday at church. And I was able to get the video done. So I think I'm going to call this the Traveling Crochet Tutorial. I'll be back. Alright, we're winding down. I'm now in the car. And I'm right at the end. And I did those 3 more rows. And now I'm ready to measure. So what I need you to do is get a measuring tape. And there's a couple ways you can measure this. The way I measure it for more accuracy is, I think I just dropped. No, I didn't. Set my camera up here. I get my measuring tape. And I measure the hat. And how I want you to measure for the brim, how wide it is. Fold it in half. Depending on what kind of yarn you're using, some will be stretchier than others. I start and I pull a little bit all the way down. Pull, put the tape on. Pull, put the tape on. Pull, just keep feeding the tape down the side of it. You don't want to pull it real tight, but just taut enough. And the last one. Alright, mine came to 25. Probably can't see it, but that's 25. So if you double 25, that would be 50. So I would need 50 inches of wire. And I showed you earlier the wire that I purchased at my local Michael's. And this one has quite a bit on it. This is 12 gauge, 5 yards. Alright, so now the other way you can measure it is take the wire, stretch it out, and do the same thing I did with the tape measure. And just measure it and then fold it in half, double it, and then you'll have what you need. Now I always add about this much extra so that I can twine the two together, and then I take my tape, put it over that part so I don't scratch myself, and then I take my pliers, needle nose, and do that. So when we come back, I'll have this in a big circle, put some tape on it, and then we'll begin to add it to the brim, to widen our brim. Alright, so I'll be back. Probably the next place I'll be is at home. Figured something out. I have been twisting all the wires that I have because I've had 22 gauge that I've doubled. I think I've had 18 gauge, and then this is 12 gauge. I just figured out that I could lay the two pieces side by side and take my tape and just twist it around it. But now I'm trying to take it loose to show you, and it's stuck. So I'm going to have to cut it because I wanted to show you. And I didn't want to waste any wire. So I could even put it less close together. Look, we'll put these two like this much on each one, overlap. Then I'm going to take my tape, making sure that I cover the edge, and then I'm just going to go real tight all the way till I cover it up. And like, you can use colored tape if you have, or electrical tape. Just learned something new. I love it. I like this better than twisting it because it's kind of humpy sometimes. I didn't like that part. We're on our way to get ice cream. So you like you really need it, huh? Okay. So now, this is silver. It's not coming loose. Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy. I feel a little piece right here. It wasn't long enough, so I'm gonna take another piece. And this is just my surgical tape that I had in my bathroom. So you could probably use whatever. I have to keep buying a lot of stuff. And you don't want to get it too thick around there. Make it as thin as possible, because in order to see it when you crochet over it. Alright, so here's my circle. And I found this is better. You know, kind of smooth out your circle as much as you can. And then I'll be back and we're going to start putting it together. Alright, here we go. I'm going to pick up my circle and set it behind my work with my thread. And I'm going to make a chain 1 right over top of the circle. And I'm starting right on my tape, because it's not going to move that at all with that tape. It doesn't slide well at all. I'm just going to chain 1 and tighten it. And then I'm going to go in the very first stitch and go around the wire with a single. It's going to be a little cumbersome, but you can do it. And you're just going to follow this along until you have about 50 or 60 on them. And once I get 50 or 60 of them on here, I'll come back and show you what I do next. Okay, I'm covering up the tape right now. I'm just crocheting over, putting it in the next stitch, pulling it through, and making a single over top of it. Now, I probably could have done a half double.
Have a good one.
Since my theme was a half double. Oh, my ice cream just came. Alright. I'm going to go back and do half doubles because it's going to cover more of my tape. If you're doing singles, you could do singles. I want to do half doubles. So, I'm going to go back and I'm going to chain 2. Because 2 is the height of a half double. Chain 1 is the height of a single. So I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to yarn over. Ooh, it's so much light. Sorry, guys. Sorry. But I'm going to chain 2, yarn over, and go into the first stitch and do a half double. And I'm going to do that all the way around. But I'm going to do about 50 or 60 of them before I come back and show you what's very helpful to do. Alright, so I'll be back. It's too much sun. Alright, I have now 50 stitches on here. And what I do is just start from the beginning where the tape is and hold it and kind of stretch it. And then stretch it some more. It starts taking up more of the wire. Okay, and you just keep stretching. Put about 50 more on there and then just stretch it. You see it? It's taking its own shape. Alright, so when I get all the way around to the end, by then I should be home, and we'll finish up the brim together. I'm winding in, I'm winding down. This is what's left. All of this will go up on here. Pretty tight. Yeah. See how it's coming? So I start right here and I just kind of pull it around, keep pulling it. pulling it. Just keep pulling it. Rolling it in. Alright, so this is the last part. We'll keep on going. I just kind of stretch it out. And I'm not going to make you sit through all this. We'll get to the end and I'll slip stitch it, and then I'll probably chain up one, and I'll show you what to do for the last row. I'm at my last 3 stitches. I'm out on my front porch now. Alright, and so what I'm going to do is just slip stitch into that first one. Alright. So still, you can see the wire. See it popping through there? So what we're going to do to finish this off. Wow, that looks like a sombrero. Is that what they call it? Alright. So what we're going to do to finish this off is I'm going to chain 1, only because I have to reach way down into the stitch. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to go, this is the stitch you normally would go on the top of the stitches. I'm going to actually go down in the holes down here, all the way around. I'm going to be overlapping my stitches. So because I've been using a half double, I think I'm going to continue. I might just do a lot of yarn. See how it looks. Some of the spaces I see already, I'm going to have to do two half doubles in each space for this particular yarn that I'm using. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going over top. I'm going right over top this stitch. I'm not making the row higher. I'm just going over top it to finish it off. And I am doing it with a half double. You can do it with a single. It just makes a long single, that's all. So I'm going to do this all the way around. And after, I do a few stitches, I will stop and pull on it to make sure it's looking good. So the wire is just very easy to be moved. So there. So that covers that up. That'll finish that off, that hat off. Sometimes I'll go back on the top of these and make what they call picots. Or sometimes I do some chain stitches. I'll do chain 3, skip 1, and go into the next one with a slip stick. And it gives it a cute little ruffled edge. At the end of the video, I'll show you a lot of the hats that I have done to give you some, to inspire you to think out the box and make some for yourself. Alright, so I'm going to continue going over my work. I'm just going right over top this. I'm going down into the stitch, bottom. And I'm going in each one twice because the holes are pretty big. Like I said, you can do half doubles if you like. I mean, you can do singles if you like. I'm not trying to conserve yarn. This is what I have left from my the skein of Simply Soft by Karan that I purchased for this hat. I didn't use a lot of white, so most of the hat is blue. Alright, I'm not gonna let you sit here and have me mumbling. Just to fill up time. The video is already very long. And there we go. It's gonna look nice. I'm just covering up. And I see some little silver peeking through. I had some black, but I think I'll do silver because of the white. So it looks crazy, but I'll put it on and show you how we shape it up and stuff at the end. It's so cute. I think she's gonna love it. Alrighty, I'll be back. Ooh, I have to hold the hat down here in order to go all the way around. A lot of work. A lot of work. Alright, I'm at the end. I'm just gonna slip stitch and cut, weave it in, and come back probably with it on my head, show you how I play with it, and show you some of the other hats, and then we'll be done with this video. So I think you'll be able to do it. It was fun for me to show you that when I'm crocheting on a project, as long as it's not a really, really, really big blanket or something, I take it everywhere I'm going and work on it. And I'm sure there's a lot of you crocheters out there just like me. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on, this is called my 25 ways brim. And I'll be back to show you a couple of different ways that I wear it. And I was going to do the brown hat with this, but I think that'll just make the video way too long, so I don't think I'll be able to do the other hat. I have to do it on this video by itself. I'm winding in, I'm winding down. This is what's left. All of this will go up on here. Pretty tight. Yeah. See how it's coming? So I start right here and I just kind of pull it around. Keep pulling it, pulling it. Just keep pulling it. Rolling it in. Alright, so this is the last part. We'll keep on going. I just kind of stretch it out. And I'm not going to make you sit through all this. We'll get to the end and I'll slip stitch it, and then I'll probably chain up one, and we'll go, I'll show you what to do for the last row. I'm at my last 3 stitches. I'm out on my front porch now. Alright, and so what I'm going to do is just slip stitch into that first one. Alright. So still, you can see the wire. See it popping through there? So what we're going to do to finish this off. Wow, that looks like a sombrero. Is that what they call it? Alright. So what we're going to do to finish this off is I'm going to chain 1, only because I have to reach way down into the stitch. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to go, this is the stitch you normally would go on the top of the stitches. I'm going to actually go down in the holes down here, all the way around. I'm going to be overlapping my stitches. So because I've been using a half double, I think I'm going to continue. I might just do a lot of yarn. See how it looks. Some of the spaces I see already, I'm going to have to do two half doubles in each space for this particular yarn that I'm using. Show you what it looks like. See? I'm going over top. I'm going right over top this stitch. I'm not making the row higher, I'm just going over top it to finish it off. And I am doing it with a half double. You can do it with a single. It just makes a long single, that's all. So I'm going to do this all the way around. And after, I do a few stitches, I will stop and pull on it to make sure it's looking good. So the wires are very easy to be moved. So there. So that covers that up. That'll finish that off, that hat off. Sometimes I go back on the top of these and make what they call picots. Or sometimes I do some chain stitches. I'll do chain 3, skip 1, and go into the next one with a slip stitch. And it gives it a cute little ruffled edge. At the end of the video, I'll show you a lot of the hats that I have done to give you some, to inspire you to think out the box and make some for yourself. Alright, so I'm going to continue going over my work. I'm just going right over top this. I'm going down into the stitch, bottom. And I'm going in each one twice because the holes are pretty big. Like I said, you can do half doubles if you like. I mean, you can do singles if you like. I'm not trying to conserve yarn. This is what I have left from my the skein of Simply Soft by Karan that I purchased for this hat. I didn't use a lot of white, so most of the hat is blue. Alright, I'm not going to let you sit here and have me mumbling just to fill up time. The video is already very long. And I see some little silver peeking through. I had some black, but I think I'll do silver because of the white. So it looks crazy, but I'll put it on and show you how we shape it up and stuff at the end. It's so cute. I think she's gonna love it. Alrighty, I'll be back. Ooh, I have to hold the hat down here in order to go all the way around. A lot of work. A lot of work. Alright, I'm at the end. I'm just going to slip stitch, and cut, weave it in, and come back probably with it on my head, show you how I play with it, and show you some of the other hats, and then we'll be done with this video. So, I think you'll be able to do it. It was fun for me to show you that when I'm crocheting on a project, as long as it's not a really, really, really big blanket or something, I take it everywhere I'm going and work on it. And I'm sure there's a lot of you crocheters out there just like me. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on, this is called my 25 Ways Brim. And I'll be back to show you a couple of different ways that I wear it. And I was going to do the brown hat with this, but I think that'll just make the video way too long. So I don't think I'll be able to do the other hat. I have to do it on this video by itself. Hey, I'm back. I'm in my room. in my crochet room and office. But look, remember I told you this hat was a mistake. And then I'm sitting in here taking pictures for you guys so you can see all the different ways. I'm calling this my 25 different ways. But remember, this hat I wore Sunday to church. One hat like it, the one that I had, the black and white one. And I had my hair swooped to the side. I'll show you in a second. But I just want to show you all the different, some of the different ways that I came up that you could wear the hat. Like the cowboy. And this is a 12 gauge I'm using. So I just kind of bend it all kind of different ways. And I'm just saying 25 different ways, but guess what? It could probably be even more than that. So if you swing the other way, you can do that. And then I think I pulled it back a little bit and I tucked it back here. And I just played with it back there. Lifted that up. Give me some more little room. I'm just really loving this hat. I'm going to have to make some more. But I think I'll just make them as needed as the orders come in. But I wanted to make sure that you guys got the pattern for this. This is just so cute. Yeah. I don't know. You can just go crazy with the hat if you want. It's just crazy. Wow. What if I saw somebody walking down the street with something like this? What would I do? But overall, like I said, it's just a hat. You can do so many. Let me show you how I had it on when I wore the other one for church. I wanted to wear my hair on the side. So I took my hair on the side and I twisted it. And then I tucked it into itself and I bobby pinned it. I probably don't have a bobby pin in here, so I'm probably not going to be able to show you the true effects of it. I'm in my little space here. But anyway, it was kind of like that. So I put the hat on. Pulled this off to the side. And because I wanted to make sure that it stayed on my head, I took this part, I bent it, and I bent it up so that it would stay on. And then I kind of wore it down. And then my hair, it was pent up like this. It was so cute. And then that was it. And then when I was done, just took it, brought it back out, reshaped it, and got an order. And remember, you can do whatever you want. But there you go. That's the hat. Thank you for spending an hour plus with me on this video. First time I've ever done anything like it, but I'm very spontaneous and I love what I do and I take it everywhere I go. And just remember, when you're out and about and you're crocheting, if you don't want anybody to stop and talk to you, don't bring your crocheting out, because people are drawn to us who crochet and do crafts because it takes them back to a childhood memory of a grandmother or aunt or a sister. So again, I thank you for watching this video. I want to tell you that you are blessed because you are blessed by the best. Thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if there's anything in the future that you'd like me to do, you can go to my website and that information will be in the description, and just hit me up. I enjoy doing tutorials. Of course, this one is unorthodox. This is all over the place. But I just really wanted you to see that why it's so hard for me sometimes to make a tutorial, because I can't just sit still and make something all in one setting. I take it with me everywhere I go. So again, be blessed. Bye-bye.